Do you love to exercise? I'm about to take my dogs for a run and I love it. I love going out with my dogs. And when I do that, I often ask myself the question, why do I love this so much and why do so many people hate exercise? 9 out of 10 people, according to the statistics in most Western countries, either don't exercise at all, or even if they are exercising, they don't enjoy it. They're inconsistent with their exercise. They might not be getting the results that they want from their exercise program, and they're not likely to do it for the rest of their lives. Only 1 out of 10 people in the world will exercise for the rest of their lives and be healthy, fit and strong consistently, regularly for a lifetime. Now, why is that? Because obviously when you're fit and strong, things are different. You've got great self-esteem, you've got good posture because you've got strong bones, you've got a fast metabolism, you feel good about yourself, you're healthier, you can do more things, you can do things faster, great hair, great skin, great nails. There's a whole heap of reasons why exercise is such a good thing. So here's a thing to consider. Why do we call it exercise? And it's a really funny thing coming from me because I've been a health club manager, I've been a personal trainer / personal results coach. I've looked after the health and fitness in a gym situation, in a personal training situation, all of my life. And now, as an old lady, and this is really bizarre for me to say this, I don't care if I never go to the gym ever again. I'm not interested in something called exercise. I really want the world to be healthy, to be fit, to be strong, to be lean and energetic. But obviously the word exercise doesn't work. And the people that do exercise, the very small number that do it regularly and consistently, people look at them like they're freaks or fanatics. So what is it about that word? And it's been suggested by some of the people that study history, that study the cavemen and study prehistoric times and study hunter and gatherer days, that of course to say to a caveman or to a hunter and gatherer, you've got to go to the gym and lift some heavy things, you've got to go somewhere and get puffed, you've got to stand on a walking machine or run on a running machine, it sounds absolutely ridiculous. And now as an old lady, I really get that. Why would we do something? It's not a natural thing to do. The human body's not designed to run on something, to lift something that isn't part of normal life. So surely then the question is, how do we make being fit and being strong part of normal life rather than lift weights, run on a treadmill, go on a cross trainer, go on a rowing machine, do an exercise program? So the big one is, how do I put movement, activity into my daily lifestyle so that I'm not sitting on my backside all day long? So could it be a really good idea that even if you do have a sitting job and you drive a truck or a bus or you're in an office or you have to sit down, school's a classic example. School's a classic example because if you want to learn effectively, the brain doesn't work effectively when you're sitting down. Your body's not doing anything. So what if every 15 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever it is you decide, you got up and move around? Now, ideally, you'd get puffed. Because when you get puffed, you change your brain chemistry. And when you change your brain chemistry and you think more clearly, then obviously you make better decisions about your food, about the people that you invest time with, about what you do with your money, about your career or business. You can study better, you can learn more effectively. So there's just a classic example. Rather than I've got to go to the gym for an hour, how about just get puffed for 10 seconds doing something that you either love to do or something that you hate the least. So skip rope, punch a bag, sprint on the spot, jump squats, run on some soft sand, run up and down some stairs, anything that gets you puffed for 10 seconds. Now, technically, I wouldn't call that exercise. And if you think it's exercise and you hate exercise like most people do, it's the closest to zero you can get. The people that do zero exercise, 10 seconds is pretty bloody close to nothing. But 10 seconds, if you do intermittent bursts of that throughout the day, you'll obviously get fit. So rather than I've got to go to the gym or I've got to have a planned exercise program, how can you put that into your lifestyle? Now, the other really interesting one, of course, is what exercise does for your brain, or what being fit and strong does for your brain. I'll take the word exercise out again. So the brain scientists, the neurosurgeons, the people that study how the brain works are all suggesting that the best form of activity to keep your brain healthy for the rest of your life isn't going to the gym either. Now, your muscles and bones in your brain are blind and they can't see what you're doing. But if you want to get neuroplasticity and neurogenesis, so you want to have a brain that's constantly changing and getting better and more effective, and you can think more clearly and just get older and wiser and better rather than just older, the two things that have been studied quite carefully now is martial arts and dancing. Because you're getting puffed, you're using your muscles, you've got to remember dance steps or remember kata, or you're constantly thinking about what you're doing. You're getting fit, you're using everything in your body, but technically not exercise. So I'm going to a martial arts class, I'm going to do some sparring, I'm going to do some patterns or kata, I'm going to a dance class, I'm learning how to dance, I'm getting puffed and I'm moving. I have to remember stuff, but it is an exercise. And I'm sharing all of this because I don't want our world to be unfit and fat and sick and diseased, and it is. And I know that not everybody, but once it's past 50%, it becomes normal. And it's become very normal now in our world to be fat, sick, weak and diseased and depressed, rather than healthy, fit, strong, energetic and lean. And I don't want that for our kids. So if our kids think they have to do 35 minutes of exercise or go to the gym for an hour or run for 20 minutes, or the things that people don't like to do, if you keep telling your headspace, I don't like to do it, or it goes against the natural grain of your body. The body's not designed to go to the gym. As humans, we're just meant to move. We're not meant to sit down. We're meant to get puffed. We're meant to lift heavy. And the hunters and gatherers did it all. They ran away from wild animals. They killed wild animals. They ran away from wild tribes. They lifted heavy things. They carried their children. Activity was just a normal part of life. You didn't have to include it. And that's what I'm doing now as an old lady, because I have 20 acres. I've tried to figure out why it is I love gardening so much. And I'm not a normal gardener. I lift heavy rocks and heavy logs and wheelbarrows full of sand and dirt. And I'm working really hard in the garden. I'm trying to figure out why I love it so much. And it's because I'm getting puffed, I'm lifting heavy, but I've got something to show for it. When I run on the treadmill or when I lift weights, yes, I did something and my body feels good because I did something, but there's no outcome. Yeah, I put some time into exercise, but I can't see the outcome. When I do my garden, I can see, look, I've moved that rock, I've moved that tree, I've changed that garden, and I feel really good about what I can see. Dancing, sport, martial arts is the same. I win a trophy, I win a gold medal, I compete with other people. Oxytocin's a really big one from a hormonal point of view. Oxytocin's a happy drug, but it comes from hanging out with great people or with animals, which is what I'm about to do now. I'm about to run with my dogs. And it's freezing cold. I love that it's cold. We've had our first snow for the year. It's almost dark. And it's kind of wild. And the outcome is that my dogs have a great time. I get oxytocin. They get oxytocin for hanging out with me. And I don't consider it exercise. I don't go, I've got to take my dogs for a walk or dogs for a run because it's exercise. We sprint up and down hills. We chase things. We have a great time. But I don't consider it exercise because obviously if you're a parent, you've got to make sure that your kids are healthy. Well, I don't have any children. I have 5 dogs. I've got to make sure that they're healthy. I'm sharing all of that with you because I would love the world to be healthy, fit, strong, lean and energetic for a lifetime. The world would be a better place, wouldn't it? Imagine if everybody was healthy, fit, strong, lean and had a stack of energy. How much more you could do every day, how much better you would feel about yourself. So how about, rather than I've got to go to the gym and do some exercise, how about find something to do that gets you puffed, that stresses or puts challenge on your muscles and bones without exercise so that you can see an outcome for it. So do you love a sport? Do you love a physical activity like hiking or biking or water skiing or rock climbing or snow skiing or martial arts or dancing where it isn't technically exercise, you've got a different kind of an outcome and you really enjoy it. And of course, if you want a healthy brain, if you want neurogenesis and neuroplasticity, the fact that you have to remember dance steps, remember kata, you have to remember the plays in a sport, it's much better for your brain. So I would love the world to be healthy. How about you? So that we all can live our life to the max. Super duper doo, how are you? Living my life to the max. And check out the beautiful sunset just as we're taking the doggies out. Woohoo! Look at that. Wow.